When you're watching this video here right now, I'm currently on a bikepacking trip all around Europe. And one of the parts I can do this is because I batch record videos in one session. And I know this sounds really easy. You hear all those creators out there who are talking about batching. Sit down, record 3 videos, edit them later, stay ahead and be consistent. Done, right? Very simple, very productive. But you when you actually try it and after the first video, your brain is already half gone. When you record the second video, it sounds kind of weird, and the third idea suddenly feels worse than it did in your notes. And at some point, you sit there thinking, "Why do I suddenly sound like such an exhausted customer support employee pretending to have a YouTube channel?" And that is the real side of batching YouTube videos that nobody really looks at or shows you in that way. In theory, it sounds like a productivity system. In reality, it is sitting in front of a camera trying to keep your energy natural while your mind is already thinking about the next topic, the previous take, or whether your voice sounds fake, and if this whole thing even makes sense. And if you are still early on YouTube, that can feel really awkward because you are not just recording videos, you are still learning how to be on camera. You're still learning how to explain your thoughts. You're still learning what your channel even sounds like. So batching can help, but only if you make it human. I have noticed this with Riova too. With my Riova YouTube channel here right now, some days I feel clear. The message is there, the energy is there, the words come easy, and recording feels like something I can actually enter. And on those days, it would be kind of a stupid to record only one video and then hope that next week I magically feel the same again, right? But I have also learned that if I make batching too big, it turns against me. If I sit down thinking today I need to record 5 or 6 amazing videos, suddenly the session feels too heavy before it even starts. Then it's not creativity anymore. It feels like a factory shift. And that is not the energy I want for Riova. And this right here, this video is a part of the Creator Reality series. A series about what it actually feels like to build something meaningful, something real on YouTube, not something polished where every creator has a perfect content calendar and endless camera confidence. The real version. The version where you want to batch, but your second video already feels slightly cursed. Or the version where you know batching would help your consistency, but you're also scared your videos will start sounding robotic. And today I want to talk about a simple way to record multiple videos without turning yourself into a content machine. The first thing I would change is how you think about batching, batch recording, batch working. It is not about forcing as much output as possible. That is where a lot of creators get wrong. They hear batching and immediately turn it into some extreme challenge. Record 5 videos, record 10 videos, build a month of content in one day. And maybe, some people can do that. Me personally, not. It's great if you are one of those people. But if you are still building your voice, your rhythm, your confidence, and your process, you can become way too much. You do not need a heroic batching session, you need a useful one. For most small creators, batching should be about stability, not intensity. It is not about proving how much you can record in one day. It is about using a good energy window wisely, because your energy will not be the same every day. Sometimes you will feel natural, other days your every sentence feels like you are reading instruction from a microwave manual, and that is normal. So when a good day comes, you want to capture a little more of it. Not aggressively, not desperately, just intelligent. Maybe 2 videos, maybe 3, enough to give your channel breathing room without making the whole process feel fake. And that breathing you are trying to build matters more than people think. If every upload depends on whether you feel inspired or on that exact day, your channel becomes fragile. One bad week and everything stops. One stressful day and the upload disappears. One messy recording session and suddenly you are behind again. Batching creates distance between your channel and your mood. It gives you a little buffer. And that buffer makes the whole creator journey feel less dramatic. You're not constantly thinking, I need to come up with something again. And consistency is one of the most important things on YouTube. Batching can help you with that because you already have something in mind or something recorded. That alone makes the process lighter. But batching only works if you do not turn the recording session into a brainstorming session. That is one of the biggest mistakes. You sit down, record, but you have not really chosen the topic yet. So now you are trying to think, choose, structure, perform, and record at the same time. That is simply too much. Your brain starts overheating before the camera even starts. So for me, the preparation has to happen before the session. Not a perfect script for every video, not a massive document, just enough clarity, a title idea, the main point, maybe one personal angle. And that way, when you sit down, the question is not what should I talk about? It is which one do I start with? Which script, which topic, which title resonates the most with me right now? That difference changes everything. Because the recording session should be for recording, not for having an identity crisis about your channel direction, not for deciding your entire niche, not for rewriting your whole content strategy. If you mix all of that together, of course, batching feels impossible. So separate the steps. Idea days are for ideas. Writing days are for shaping. Recording sessions are for the entering of the message and saying it as honestly as you can. That separation right here makes the whole process less chaotic. And then when you finally start this recording session, batch session, do not begin with the heaviest topic. I know the instinct. You want to get the important one done, the biggest frog first, the one that feels big, right? The one that feels like it has to be perfect. But that can drain the whole session immediately. Start with the easiest video. The one that already has energy, the one you can talk about without forcing every sentence, because the first video sets the tone of the day of dispatching sessions here right now. If the first one flows, you begin to trust the session. You loosen up, you sound more human, and then the second video has a better chance. This is especially important if you still feel awkward on camera. And honestly, most of us do, especially in the beginning on the first 1 to 100 videos, you know? Even if you get better, there's still something strange about talking to a lens and acting like this is a normal human interaction. So you want the first video to help you warm up, not crush you. Sometimes the first recording is less about creating the best video of your life and more about getting your voice back into the room. Once you are in it, the next one becomes easier. And don't get me wrong, the setup matters too, but not in the way people think. You do not need the most advanced setup, the best camera and lighting. You need a setup that does not steal energy. If every video requires adjusting the lights, moving the camera, changing the angles, or fixing the audio, and convincing yourself that the whole thing looks professional enough, you're spending energy before you even start speaking. And for batching, that matters. Keep the setup simple. Keep it stable. Do not change everything between videos unless you really need to. A simple setup is not a limitation. It can be the reason you actually stay in the flow and stay consistent on YouTube over a long period of time. And the same is true for editing expectations. If you know every video you record today will later become a massive editing project, your brain will feel that while recording. You are not just making videos anymore, you're creating future punishment for yourself. That is why batching has to be connected to a realistic editing style. If your content is talking head like mine, maybe the edit can stay clean and simple. Maybe not every pause needs to be attacked. Maybe not every moment needs a visual trick. This video should be watchable, of course, but do not make the edit so heavy that batching creates a backlog you start avoiding, you know? The emotional expectation is not as important. Not every video in a batch will feel equally strong. That is normal. One will feel sharp, one will feel a little softer, and one might feel slightly awkward but still useful. And that is okay. The goal is not to make every video feel like the greatest expression of your creator identity. The goal is to create honest, useful videos that move the channel forward and create some kind of value for the people who want to watch it. If you expect every single one to feel perfect, batching becomes emotionally too expensive. You start re-recording, overthinking, checking yourself, losing flow, and eventually the session collapses. For me, the rule is simple. Useful and honest beats perfect and never recorded. That does not mean I'm lazy or laziness, you know? It means realistic. If the message is clear, if the video has a point, if it can help someone, if it represents the channel well enough for this stage, then it can count. You can improve the next one. That is how creators grow, and that is how my philosophy on Riova fish laws is. Not by making every upload flawless, but by creating enough repetitions to actually get better over time. Yeah, and if this is the kind of creator reality you are living in, stay with the creator reality playlist. The early episodes are there for the exact stages: consistency, overthinking, the awkward feeling of becoming a creator before you fully feel ready like one, or the emotional pressure of posting, right? The seriousness is not about pretending YouTube is easy. It is about making the process feel less lonely and more understandable while you build it. Here is the simplest batching system I would use. Have the topics ready before you record. Pick two or three, not seven. Start with the easiest one and keep the setup unchanged. Record while the energy is good, but stop before you are hating the whole process. That last part matters. Do not squeeze every drop out of the day. Leave the session feeling like you could come back again. That is how you protect the relationship with the channel and don't burn out over time. Because batching should not make YouTube feel like a factory. It should make the channel feel more stable. It should give you breathing room. It should help you use good energy when it is actually here instead of forcing creativity on days where your brain is basically just a loading screen. And if you keep it simple, batching can become one of the best tools you have. Not because it makes you a machine, but because it lets you stay human while still staying consistent. So start small. 3 videos is a strong session. You do not need to build a month of content in one heroic day. You just need enough space so the next upload does not feel like starting from zero again. Use your good days wisely. Keep the process light. Let some videos be simple, let some takes be imperfect. And remember, the goal is not to force more content out of yourself. The goal is to make your channel easier to return to. That is how batching actually will help you.